To Zohran, I believe, as we've stated, that you have been a divisive force in New York, and I believe that's toxic energy for New York.
This constant attempt to smear and slander me is an attempt to also distract from the fact that, unlike myself, you do not actually have a platform or a set of policies to protect those same New Yorkers here. All you have are the insults that you have lobbed at every single opportunity you have.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, no.
Mr. Cuomo, in 2021, 13 different women who worked in your administration credibly accused you of sexual harassment. Since then, you have spent more than $20 million in taxpayer funds to defend yourself, all while describing these allegations as entirely political. You have even gone so far as to legally go after these women. One of those women, Charlotte Bennett, is here in the audience this evening. You sought to access her private gynecological records. She cannot speak up for herself because you lodged a defamation case against her. I, however, can speak. What do you say to the 13 women that you sexually harassed?
Tonight was a great night and another opportunity to speak to New Yorkers directly about the need for us to move on from the politics and the politicians of the past so that we can make this city affordable for each and every New Yorker who calls it home. And while Andrew Cuomo may have forgotten that he was the governor of this state for 10 years, those of us who had to live through his moral bankruptcy and corruption sure haven't.
You know, don't be glazing me, Zohran. Remember, he's no friend of mine. He's in the back pocket of billionaires, too, just like Andrew Cuomo is. But there are a number of known people who have leftist, progressive attitudes in politics who are in millionaire status who have donated money to Zohran's campaign. There's a list of them. The only thing I would do if, God forbid, Zohran Mamdani was the choice of the people and we will live it up to them, is I will organize resistance because I will improve, I will not move. Zohran Mamdani could bet that I will be his worst nightmare because unlike Andrew Cuomo with his billionaire friends in the Hamptons who said, oh, if Zohran's elected, I'm fleeing to Florida. I'm not going anywhere. I was born in New York. They tried to kill me in New York. I'll die in New York. I'll be buried in New York. And if somehow Zohran Mamdani is elected by the people, boy, he is going to regret ever knowing the name of Curtis Sliwa because I'm going to be on his case 24 hours a day when he's being Pinocchio. Because I got to tell you, oftentimes Zohran Mamdani is Pinocchio. It's not like his nose grows. His smile just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's how you know that Zohran Mamdani is telling another lie, another whopper, fantasy rather than reality.
Well, the mayoral debates were on, and Zohran Mamdani, he's still a front runner to be the next mayor of New York, but former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is trying to catch him.
He has said he'll take over New York if Mamdani wins, and he will, because he has no respect for him. He thinks he's a kid and he's going to knock him on his tuchus. So it is a balance, but you're going to have to be adversarial when you need to, but you want to cooperate to get good things done in this city, and you need federal help.
And after the debate, Cuomo was with current Mayor Eric Adams at Madison Square Garden. Interesting. Have these old foes turned into friends to try to defeat Mamdani? And what's it going to mean if Mamdani does prevail? It's going to be, I've got to say, it's going to be good for me, possibly not good for New Yorkers. But what do you think will be the practical outcomes if Mamdani becomes mayor?
Outside of renegotiating my rent with my landlord, putting that aside, look, it is we have a roadmap to what could happen with the city. It's called the 70s and the 80s, right? It does take a long time to get to that dystopian area, but it's certainly possible, and we're on that road without question. I'm not quite. Look, I think the polling came out recently about what would happen in terms of if Sliwa dropped out of the race.
Yeah.
And it looks like it would actually almost be within the margin of error. Now, it would be very close, within 4 points. Now, I get 3 or 4 texts a day from the Sliwa campaign, and I keep texting back. I'm sure it goes out the ether, drop out, drop out, drop out, drop out, okay? And the truth is that, and I know your producers always tell me there won't be math on the show, but I'm still have to do a little bit of math here. 4% is the margin of error, right? And that would be where they would be if Sliwa drops out. 80% of the 9% who are undecided, so about 10% undecided, shocking that anybody is, are over 50. And 80% of people over 50 are going to break toward Cuomo. So if you do the numbers, it'll give Cuomo another 6%, which would give him the race. So I'm telling you now, I'm predicting it right here.
What do you think the participation rate's going to be like with this election? Because we've got Democrat on Democrat. I mean, it is a little bit depressing if you happen to be, I don't know, slightly sane and conservative in New York. It is a one-party system there.
Well, there's like 15 of us. So, yeah. So, I mean, one of my favorite statistics about New York City is that Manhattan voted in a number for Biden and for Clinton at a higher number than Putin won his election.
Yeah. Okay, that says it all. That does say it all. How did the Jewish population feel? I know Mamdani famously has some Jewish supporters, but surely, given some of his commentary over the years and recent months, they must be terribly nervous.
Yeah, no, it's not a great time for Jews in New York. I mean, across the globe, obviously in general. But when we had the high holidays not that long ago, and Jews, you have to have armed security in front of every single synagogue in New York because the danger levels, the threat levels are so high. And in no small part, Mamdani is part of it. Mamdani just met and smiled and shook hands with an unindicted co-conspirator of the bombing of the World Trade Center in '93, smiling, grabbing his hand. This is what not just Jews, but New Yorkers in general have to deal with. He is an insane person, and the city will be insane to elect him. It is shocking to me, shocking he has this much support.
Well, you're in Melbourne today, and the front page of today's Herald Sun newspaper was a story about anti-Semitism, about the Carlton Football Club's mascot storming out of a young fan's bar mitzvah after learning that he was raising money for wounded Israeli soldiers. He allegedly yelled, "I'm not doing this for effing Zios," and walked out. A source told the Herald Sun the man will not be working for Carlton again. But it's just another example of how much this has become normalised to be anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, and the lines are very much blurred with anti-Semitism there.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he's so flush with money. He's got so many gigs, he can walk out of a gig and say no. I hope they didn't pay him, by the way, of course. But this is what we have to deal with on a daily basis around the world. And it's sick, it's disgusting, and I'm glad that we have friends who can help us with this.
Ami Horowitz, thank you so much for your time.
Always a pleasure.